Hello lovelies, I am Queen Lovelee. Welcome back to Melanated Crowns. So this video that I will be doing this evening on Friday, I don't know when you'll see it, but it is Friday evening, is probably going to be one of the most transparent videos I've ever done. I will get emotional because I'm going to be talking about some very sensitive and raw subjects. And I just want to have a moment of truth that just is very pivotal in my growth. And I have to share it with you all because this has been presented to me by Spirit. I want to thank my spiritual mother, Psychic Leo Brown. I have promoted him so many times since I've been on YouTube, from my previous brand, Lovelee show, and now on Melanated Crowns. And I also want to shout out this tarot reader that is on Twitter. I don't want to confine her strictly to the platform of Twitter, but that's where I came across her. What is it? Tarot Capri, I think it's like Capri Tarot. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. But shout out to her as well. She's like an energy reader. I just I don't even know where to start. And I'm just gonna speak from the heart. When I got on YouTube, I had a brand, Live with Leah show, okay? And when I got on YouTube, I looked up to the Scorpion show, Funky Dineva, Mr. Still Standing, Messy Mouse, Miss PTV, Ashley Miller. And I just remember looking at them and saying like, wow, I really want to do that. Because growing up, I wasn't a dancer. I wasn't a singer. I wasn't the best when it came to math and science. And I remember, like, when you get in high school and you start getting around that sophomore, junior year, even before you get to high school, you have teachers and counselors encouraging you to pick your high school that is running synonymous with your career interests. And at the time, the only talent that I thought that I had was my ability to type fast. I could type close to like 160 words in 1 minute without looking at the keyboard. The only catch with that is I never learned the proper way to type. Like, how each finger is supposed to be on a certain letter. The same way I could text, that's how I type, with my two fingers. So that's the catch. And I remember going to Murray Bertram High School in Manhattan. It's no longer there because it was such a terrible school, and I didn't even know that at the time. I'm just thinking, I live in Queens. I want to go to school in Manhattan. It's going to be nice. I'm going to be in the city with the white folks. This is how I'm thinking at the time, 12, 13 years old, filling out high school applications. And I get there and it was nothing of the sorts. And I thought I was going to study shorthand typing. I get there and once again, it was nothing of the sorts. So I discovered YouTube, and I used to watch like skits like Hot Damn Rock, Jerry Levine, Kingsley. And then I discovered the Scorpion show because I was looking for people who had more of a conversational way of doing commentary. And this is at the time when the Breakfast Club was just emerging as well. Well, not just emerging because they came out in 2010, but I guess this is when I started to like really zoom into them. And I was just like, I think I want to do that. I think I want to do pop culture commentary. Like, is there a career for that? And I remember my counselor saying, yeah, you could go to school for like television broadcasting or radio broadcasting. Like, there's a career for that. And I'm like, like, I was so ignorant. I didn't know. And I would watch the Scorpion show. I would watch Funky Dineva, all of them. And I would say, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, but I need to have the right lights. I need to have the right camera. I need to have a background. I need to have this. And my cousin, she will always tell me, girl, just start it. Just do it off your phone. That phone that you got right there, like when we be sitting in her kitchen, you could do it off of there. But back then, I was just in this headspace of like, it needs to be perfect. When I present, it needs to be perfect because the people that I'm looking up to, they got a green screen, they edit, they got music, subtitles. And I'm just thinking that's the way I need to come because these are people I look up to. So fast forward, go to college. I'm in college, studying communications and whatnot. And I finally start my YouTube channel. The first video I ever did was about the New York City stripper strike. And I remember that video had got like 20,000 views. And I was shocked. And a lot of people just kept saying, you got a dope personality, you're real articulate, but girl, you need to fix your camera angle. Because at that time, I would just take some chapter books and I would just stand my phone out like that and just do it. Okay? And people was like, girl, you need to fix your angle. Like, this just ain't the tea. And I remember I stepped away from YouTube a while, and then I finally came back and really got into it. Really got into it. And my page just took off. Within less than 2 years, I had built a page of 10,500 people. And I was very proud of that, because I remember setting goals for myself, such as I just want to hit 1,000 people by the end of the year. And I think by the end of my first year on YouTube, I had surpassed that. When I was on YouTube with Live with Leah show, okay, and for the longest time up until today, I have been afraid, I'm just going to be very transparent, to even mention my previous brand or speak about it, because it represents a vibration, a frequency that I used to vibrate on that was very low. And I didn't understand up until this week, going through the things that I was going through and having the conversations I was having with people that are very important to me when it comes to my spirituality and when it comes to my growth. That's fireworks. Please excuse the ignorance. I just never wanted to mention it, because when I was doing commentary on entertainment, I attracted an audience tailored to the things that I was talking about and tailored to the energy that I was giving. And I remember last year in 2019, when my shift started to happen and my awakening started to happen, I got to a point around this time last year, about a year ago, where I was talking to my former mentor, and I was saying to him, I can't believe these people. I really can't believe these people. I was saying to him, let me go close my window. I'm so sorry. Y'all probably will still hear it, but hopefully it's not as bad. I was saying to him, like, I just don't feel like this is the content that my ancestors want me to make anymore. Excuse me. I am starting to lose genuine interest in talking about Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj, and Masika versus Alexis Sky, and Remy Ma versus Nicki. I had just really outgrown that and sincerely had just divested internally and subconsciously from caring about those things. I was getting in a space where it was just like, if I am going to talk about these situations, if I am going to talk about these people, I want to present solutions. And those of you who knew me from my Live with Leah show days, one of the things that always gravitated my audience members and my supporters at that time was the fact that I never really hopped on camera with an intent to be malicious. That was never my intention. Every now and then I would come on and read someone, like if I was upset about the way they was conducting themselves. But for the most part, I will always come from a place of like, you know, like, what are you doing? This is how you should be moving. This is how you should be doing this and that. So it was never my intentions to come on camera and like roast and gag people. And in the midst of me talking about pop culture, and in the midst of me talking about entertainment and whatever the case may be, I would share very intimate details about my strained relationship with my mother and my father. Throwing some astrology out there, I'm a Sagittarius moon and I'm an 11th house sun. And both of those are placements that can deal with the absentee mom and dad and some form of an emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, financial level. And the thing is, I went my whole life with my father being emotionally unavailable. And that naturally caused me to lean on my mom a lot. And when our relationship had a breakdown in my senior year, it really spun me out. Because imagine going through a transitional period where you're going from high school to college and your own mother is not there to support you. Imagine going to prom and she's not there to take your pictures. Imagine going to your high school graduation and she's not there in the audience and she did not show up. So I was going through this transitional phase where I'm going from a young lady to a young woman, and the woman that I would expect to be there for me and like really guide me, she was nowhere to be found in the way that I felt she was supposed to be. And that is something till this day that I deal with, because I just honestly feel like sometimes you just don't move on from things. You just learn how to move forward and you learn how to cope. And that's just where I'm at today, being 24. So with that being said, me just being transparent, sharing my story. I share my stories because I want people to know that if you're in similar situations, you can achieve certain things. I've done amazing things in my life. I've made Dean's List 3 times consecutively. I've been inducted into the Honor Society. I had an internship for the Breakfast Club, which is like the #1 show, urban morning show in the nation. I currently just got accepted into NYU on a Dean Scholarship for their social work program. I've done so many amazing things despite the hiccups. So I always try to be transparent and share that because I want to help and inspire people and encourage them and suggest to them ways to deal, ways to cope, the things that you can do. Because sometimes when you don't have an example, it's easy to become a victim to your subconscious thoughts. And idle mind is the devil's playground. So I try to come on here for those that may not be able to afford to do a spiritual advising session with me, for those that may not be able to afford to do a reading with me. And I try to offer comfort through this screen, whether you watch me on a computer, iPad, TV, phone. I try to offer encouragement and comfort, and I just try to show up in integrity and be my authentic self. Because I know what it's like to just be out there, and even if you do have people physically like pulling on you, just still feeling alone. And unfortunately, because I was being transparent, there's a content creator, okay, that preyed on me. And this content creator has been cyberbullying me. This content creator has been harassing me emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. She's been very abusive verbally for over a year now. And the way that me and this individual came to know each other, she came into my email. I still have the emails till this day. She came into my email. She said, I just watched your video. I have a daughter your age. How much do you need? I can help you. You know what I mean? Saying all of the things that would automatically, because I'm subconsciously craving this energy that I thought she was giving me from my mom, it's easy for me to become vulnerable and susceptible to someone that is pretending to give off that energy, but they have nasty ulterior motives. And that's what this content creator did, that till this day, I don't even talk about this person on this channel. I don't say their name, but they have to slap melanated crowns in the title of their videos because they're crazy. And that's really just what it is. I always knew, it's like you could see after a while something is off with someone. But I literally went to therapy talking about this situation because this situation was having such an impact on me. And as I'm explaining to my therapist, a licensed mental health professional how this woman approached me and came to me. She hands me this pamphlet about narcissists and the spectrum. And she's like, read this. Is this how this woman presents? Does this sound like her? And I said, oh my God, yes. She said, yeah, she came into your Gmail. I'm showing her the emails, paragraphs on paragraphs on paragraphs. You're so intelligent. You should be a social worker, or you should be an intuitive reader. You have such discernment. You have such a good heart. You just this, amping you up, being your cheerleader, telling you everything that they know that you want to hear because you're not receiving it from your mom. So she presents as a mom. She presents as a maternal figure and a nurturing figure, because I'm sitting on screen crying at 20 and 21 years old about my strained relationship with my mom, knowing that that's a vulnerable stage for any man or woman as you're transitioning from being like a teenager and being up underneath your mom, and you're going to college, you falling in love, you losing your virginity, you trying drinks and whatever the case for the first time. And at those moments, that's when you're really looking for that paternal and that maternal support, because it's new to you. You're out in the world. And even though there's always been people in my life that have stepped up when need be, it will never, and it never has replaced what I wanted from my mom and what I wanted from my dad. That is such a gut punch that I can't even explain. To get inducted into the honor society and you're sending a text that this is happening, they don't show up. Graduate from high school, they don't show up. Your prom day, they act disinterested. I'm sending pictures of my prom dress, and I don't like the way that looks. Nothing positive to say. Nothing. Don't give no money for me to get my hair. None of that. None of that. So that's how my transition was. Going to college, going to a PWI, a predominantly white institution, a private one, and watching people's parents wheel their stuff into their room, make up their bed, put their care packages up, and I have to take my stuff on Amtrak. And I just have like a sheet on my bed for like the first week or so until some money falls into my account, because my mom didn't do that for me. And I'm being transparent and I'm sharing that. And for someone to prey on that and see, oh wow, this is a vulnerable young woman that's in her 20s. Let me prey on her and come into her inbox and present that I'm about to like fill that role. And because I'm ignorant, I'm naive, this is something I want, I fell for it. And for a long time, I didn't even want to talk about it, because what happens when you're like me and people are constantly saying, you're so mature, you're so wise beyond your years. It's compliments, but it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes it subconsciously plants this seed that you can't be young and you can't be someone that's still learning. And it's like, it's not the intentions of the people, but it just kind of makes you feel boxed in, like I have to continue to fit this mold. I'm not allowed to make mistakes. I'm too smart for that. I shouldn't be making mistakes. I shouldn't be falling for that. And 2020 has been such a year for me where it's like, I've been reminding myself every step of the way with my fitness goals, my spiritual goals, my goals when it comes to my interpersonal relationships with friends, family, romantic partners. You are human. You are allowed to make mistakes. If they want to put you on this pedestal like you can do no wrong, you don't need no help, you make it very clear what you need and what you want. And if they can't fit the bill, move on, because you deserve it. And there are people out there, you just got to get rid of that. And that's what I've been trying hard to do. Melanated Crowns is a soul project. It's a soul purpose, because I am a Black woman that deals with emotional distress, mental distress, and sometimes spiritual distress. We all do. And all I want to do is take the lessons that I've learned and share it with Black women who come to me. I am here for people that are here for me. And I'm just learning to get into that mode. I cannot be what everyone expects me to be. And what pisses me off about this whole situation with this content creator, okay? This may be a 2-part video. What pisses me off about the situation with this content creator, after nurturing me, because this is what narcissistic psychopath people do. They will nurture you, all the things that you share with them, all the traumas that you share with them, all the areas of your life where you feel undervalued, where you feel underappreciated, that you share with them. They take that and they tailor their compliments, they tailor their conversations to building you up in those areas and making it to where you become solely dependent on their word, because they know in other areas where you're seeking what they're giving you, you're not getting it. That woman was a confidant for me. That woman was a spiritual authority for me. Until she came into my Gmail, I had little interest. You know, I would watch like celebrity tarot readings and whatnot, but I wasn't really deep into occult science the way that I am today. And everything happens for a reason, and we'll get to that later on. That woman came to me, gave me a reading. At the time, I was, whenever you go to a reader, it's supposed to be a confidentiality. And I'm explaining at work, this is how I feel, this is how this person is treating me. She's pulling cards, telling me you need to stay away from this person is having sexual thoughts about you, this person is being inappropriate, this, that, and the third. And because I'm ignorant, this is before I even picked up cards. I'm new to this. I'm thinking, you're a reader. You have integrity. You have some type of spiritual authority. You have wisdom. You have knowledge. You have all of these things that I'm constantly seeking. I have a Sagittarius stellium. Can't help it. So I'm listening and taking everything you're saying. I'm 22. And I'm just taking everything you're saying like, wow, really? You know, just really absorbing it, because I'm thinking, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. And my perspectives and perceptions about things are being shaped based off of my experiences and then the spiritual guidance that you're giving me, that I paid for. So now I jumped in 2019 of, what was that, March or April. I used tarot cards for the first time. I'm on my Live with Leah Show YouTube channel. And there was people, and you know, some of these people still follow me, so they'll remember. I sat in the chat practicing. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even know how to shuffle. And I'm like, they like, yeah, let's do some practice tarot readings. And I'm doing it. They like, girl, you are good. You are good. You got a natural knack for this. And after I turned the camera off, I was on such a high. Now here comes a lesson. For anyone getting into divination or spiritual work of any form, be very careful on the tools you use, how you use it, and who instructs you on how to use it, okay? You want to be careful of the tool that you use. You want to be careful of how you use that tool, and you want to be careful of the person who is guiding you to use that tool, because those are 3 intricate parts to practicing that can really shape your experience. Because at the time when I picked up the tarot decks, the weight that divination tools and spiritual works and candles and herbs hold in my life today at the age of 24, and I will be 25 in November, it did not hold that weight last year when I was 23. It didn't. It really didn't. And the fish rots from the head. Okay? It did not hold that weight. So me being immature, being ignorant, being irresponsible, and not acting in integrity, what I did with those cards, I'm reading on everyone, everything. Well, how does this person feel about me? How does that person feel about me? And my mentors have told me, other mentors I've had, girl, we've all done that. We've all done that. We've all looked into people and looked into things we had no business to, and we all paid the price or was reprimanded in whichever way spirit seen fit or the entities walking with us seen fit. And I made a choice. I'm not even going to say a mistake. I made a choice in that time being that I thought was the best choice to ask a question about an individual based off of information that was being fed to me about this person and how they felt towards me. And it was unethical of me. Period. It was unethical. I should have never asked it. I should have never looked into it. And I was not acting in integrity at that time. And today I can own that. And the only reason why I'm not going into details or saying names is because this is my truth to tell, and I'm not going to drag people's names into my truth. If you care enough to go and do your own research, you can do your own research. And whatever you find or whatever opinion you form, that is your right. But after I address this and speak this, I'm leaving it right here on this video. Because this is for me and my healing and my transformation. Me and that person, that content creator, that woman that's older, that's at minimum, she's probably in her 50s because she said she's old enough to be my mom. My mom is in her 50s. We parted ways. And ever since then, it's just been constant, nonstop bullying, releasing private conversations and text messages, you know, trying to perpetuate and spin these narratives about me. Anyone who's watching this video has a confidant where you talk about anyone and everything under the sun. We all do it. We have group chats, we got text messages, phone conversations, Zoom calls, whatever the case may be, where you talk about anything and everything because to you, this person or these group of people who you're sharing these experiences with, you feel at the moment that this is a safe space. No one has conversations about things with the expectations that it'll end up on a World Wide Web with a negative intention to perpetuate a narrative that is false. No one prepares for that unless you've seen someone do that before. And then I would hope that you're cognizant enough and you're insightful enough to say, I'm gonna stay away from that person because I ain't fucking with them. So that's been my experience with that person. And I just wanted to come on here today to say I apologize to all parties involved. Like I said, it was a moment of me being unethical. It was a moment of me not moving in integrity. And like the saying goes, if I knew what I knew today, a year ago, a year and a half ago, it would just be different, obviously. But I appreciate that experience. I appreciate the abuse and the attacks because it's those growing pains that have shaped me into the woman I am today. I had to go through those experiences, even when it comes down to the stuff with my mom. I'm a child of Yemaya. Those that's familiar with the Odishas, most children of Yemaya don't have good relationships with their mom. And they take on that role of being a nurturer. That speaks to why I've been working with kids since I was like 18. That speaks to why I'm pursuing a career in social work. This is a purpose, a soul purpose that is near and dear to me. I want to give back in how many ways I can. That's why I did the Melanated Crown Scholarship. Because for me, it's not about money. It's not about gain. This is bigger than me. This is so much bigger than me. I'm trying to put out into the world what I want to see. I'm trying to be the change and make the changes within what I want to see on the outside. And that's why, you know, sometimes I have to decompress because I become so empathetic and emotionally and spiritually invested, because I really am about people showing up and being the best versions of themselves and having empathy and compassion for one another. That's something I'm very passionate about. Something I'm very passionate about. Because you just never know someone's story. You know what I mean? I have really been trying to move past, and I've done so much. I've moved forward. But I'm really ready to move on from that situation and put it to bed. And I just want to say to Erica Dinero TV, and she's not the content creator that I was talking about for the first 30 minutes of this video, but she is so nasty and disgusting that she went and knowingly contacted my abuser, because that content creator is an abuser. She preyed on me. She manipulated me, and then she took all the things that I confided in her in, knowing that I viewed her as a mother figure, and she plastered it on the World Wide Web to perpetuate false narratives about me. And Erica Dinero TV is well aware of that. Erica Dinero TV knew me from Live with Leah show. I would shout her out on my channel. I had more subscribers than her. When I left Live with Leah show at 10,500, she had about 4,000. And a lot of people will attest to the fact that, yeah, I found out about her from you. Not to say I'm the reason for her success, because she did that on her own. But I'm trying to tell y'all that I never had an issue with her. And she literally went out her way to contact a woman who she knew when that situation was happening and that content creator was coming at me. She would come in my comments and say, protect your energy, diva. Protect your energy. This is just going to be a lesson learned. Protect your energy. But because me and you had a disagreement where you name dropped melanated crowns in your video and I respectfully responded to you, you came and pulled up in my Twitter DM, which is what you should have did from the jump, since you 44. I'm 24. We had a conversation. I apologized in the DMs. You said that I needed to take your name out the title because my name is not in your title. I did that. And then I ended up unlisting the video because I'm just like, it's not even that deep. And moved on. And then you went and contacted that content creator. Okay. And she made another video about me, cyberbullying me and harassing me and being verbally abusive. Oh, I'm a scammer. I scam my clients. This is the narrative. And I'm going to just say her name, Occult Gems. That's who I'm talking about. And I'm going to say her name because I don't want anyone else to be a victim of her. She is not what she says she is. And this is not me. Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even going to explain myself because I'm just at a point where if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. Do not mess with Occult Gems if you are truly seeking spiritual refuge, because she is not who she says she is. And I would hate for any of y'all to be a victim of her nastiness the way that I've been. I would hate that. I am very serious about that when I say I protect Black women and their emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. That woman is disgusting. And it's crazy because after me and her fell out and I went and searched her name, or I think my friend did, my friend was like, well, I searched her name and there's complaints about her being a scammer coming up. And she cyberbullied people before, such as this woman, Magical Lady Duchess, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't even think to Google, once again, being in that emotional state, in that vulnerable state of, I just want someone to love on me. I just want somebody to show up and be a maternal figure in my life. I didn't even think to look into that person. You could never, ever get me like that today. I get so many emails and DMs from people and I instantly delete them or block them because spirit goes, oh no, hell no. You could never get me like that today. But I had to go through that situation so that I could be sharp as a tack the way I am today with my discernment and discern evil entities. Please do not associate with that woman. And for Erica Dinero to reach out to her, and there's a video, Melanated Crowns goes at Erica Dinero TV, and contact my abuser. You know this person. Aren't you a victim of abuse? Did I contact anyone in your stratosphere, anyone in your past, and say, it wasn't that deep to me, and you're 44, and you sit on your channel in your car, and you talk about protecting your energy, and you should move about like this, and you should move about like that, and you went and contacted that woman to get back at me? And aren't you an advocate for LGBTQ plus rights, specifically Black transgender women? Have you not seen that woman's videos where she's talking about how there's an LGBTQ agenda and whatnot? So that's who you're aligning yourself with, but I'm a fraud. And I know I'm not a fraud. I know because I'm a good person, it's always going to be debunked. It's always going to be debunked. Because I don't get up here and pretend. I don't care what anybody says about me. Y'all know my heart. And it just is what it is. Y'all know my heart. And all it is projection. Erica Dinero is not who she says she is. Occult Gems is not who she says she is. She don't even show her face. So you're projecting your inability to show up and be genuine and be authentic on me because you see a woman that's half your age that's comfortable enough in her skin to be her authentic self. And instead of congratulating me from one Black woman to another, you go and contact my abuser and reach out to other people that's mentored me, because that's how nasty and vile and disgusting you are, Erica. Shame on you. You are disgusting for that. For you to see, if you are so in tune and you got tarot cards and you wear your head wraps and you're so in tune and in touch, you mean to tell me you can't discern that that woman is just nasty and low vibrational? Is that deep that you got to come down off of your so-called high vibration to waddle in the mud with dirt like that? That's what we're doing. And you're 44. So once again, another person that I look to, like, yo, Erica's dope. I want my channel to be well like this. Once again, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. But let me tell you what I learned from this whole situation. And then I'm going to wrap this up because I know this was a long video. I have learned that when you are not honest with yourself about what you want, it will appear in a way that you don't need it. Because for a long time when it came to the situation with my mom, I felt like I had to numb myself and say, I don't care about her, fuck her. Fuck that bitch. I'm gonna just be transparent. Fuck that bitch. She ain't come to my high school graduation. Fuck her. She ain't never been to my dorm. She ain't never sent me a care package. Fuck that bitch. And I had to numb myself and just convince myself I don't want that. But your subconscious always knows what you want. Your subconscious, your shadow side, it always knows what you want. And that's how I was able to attract someone like Occult Gems into my life. Because subconsciously, I was pulling on that anger and that sadness that I had from my mom and manifested in Occult Gems, because Occult Gems is a very hurt woman. Occult Gems is very hurt. She is very hurt. That woman is hurting on the inside. Someone has broke her. And the way that she shows up, instead of getting the help that she needs and truly living up to her capabilities to be an authority or a voice in the spiritual community, she looks for people to prey on, to build up and break, because someone has done that to her. And that's what she did to me. But the difference is, the same way with my parents, how the dysfunctional shit stops there, it stops here too. I'm not going to build nobody up to break them down. I don't desire to do that. That's just not who I am. That's not who I am. Like I said, this melanated crowns, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. This was created an image of things that I've been through, but this is bigger than me. This is not about me. This is about y'all. And I just hope moving forward, you know, she probably gonna make more videos. Erica could say what she wants, but I'm done. I just came on here to speak my truth. I just came on here to speak my truth about decisions and mistakes that I made coming into spirituality and the price that I've had to pay. But it's okay because I've learned a lot. And it's really put me on my path. You know, I stepped away from entertainment and everything because I was ashamed of what I did, but I also just was not resonating with it. It was a mixture of like, I don't resonate with this, but then there was a part of me that was just fearful to get back into it because I really was ashamed. And I'm no longer ashamed. I'm human and I can make mistakes and it's okay. And everyone may not receive me and that's okay too. They wasn't going to receive me. If I was going to sit up here and lie and act perfect, you still would have had people that complain. So I might as well show up and be authentic and be genuine and be at peace within myself. Because if I'm at peace within myself, I can attract and create a community of lovelies that are within peace with themselves or searching for that. So it is what it is. I love you all. I thank you so much for everyone that sat through this video. And it just is what it is. Bye.